Let me lay it out for my Knicks here. All right, because I'm tired of the tweets. Let me just set it straight.
Go ahead.
I don't care that Kevin Durant didn't come here, and I don't care that Kyrie Irving didn't come here.
Why?
Because, number one, if you don't want to be a Knick, I don't need you. I'm not going to beg you to come play for my team.
Okay, but a lot of people don't want to be a Knicks.
Well, then that's fine.
When was the last free agent that you got? It's the problem.
Amari.
Yes,
That's why I have mad respect for Amari.
That was a long time ago. Not that long, but it was a long time ago.
It was the earliest. It was basically almost a decade ago.
Yeah,
but at least he was bold enough to take on the opportunity.
True. True. But the opportunity just seems less exciting than it maybe once was.
Disagree. I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
So the first premise: if you don't want to be here, don't come. Number two, I'm just not a Kyrie Irving fan. He divorced. Think about. I'm not making this up. He's divorced himself from LeBron, and he destroyed a winning culture with the Celtics.
I don't know if that was all his fault.
Okay, but it happened under his watch as the primary piece to the team.
True. The more you read about it, the more you start to fault some of those young guys as well for not handling it, the way that they should have.
Okay, you got a lot of rebuttals here.
I just got to be fair to Kyrie.
Of course, you do.
I don't know how the full story went. I mean, Terry Rozier was a little bit of a pain in the butt. And by the way, he got paid.
He did a little bit too much.
58 guaranteed.
That's crazy
for Charlotte.
I know.
Are you excited if you're in Charlotte right now?
No, exactly. But I'd probably be less enthused if we gave gave him $219 million Supermax. Yeah, exactly. Of course, right. Kemba. All right, so number 3, Kevin Durant suffered the absolute worst injury that an athlete can suffer. I don't need to waste time on that, and I wish him well. Because forget about individual rooting interest, and of course now they're 7 miles from, that's a little more painful. But I want to see great players play.
He's going to come back and average like 40 against the Knicks.
Well, that's a given. Dominique Wilkins came back. I mean, everybody says nobody's. Dominique came back, and Dominique was more about bounce than Durant. So I don't shut the door on Durant coming back and being close to Durant, but a $35 million red shirt is not exactly fiscally responsible.
No, it's not.
Okay, number 4, and this is what a lot of people are missing. Because I do think that the smart Knicks fans are savvy enough to agree with everything I just said. You don't want to be here? Don't come. Kyrie, bit of a malcontent. Kevin Durant, brutal injury. The fourth aspect here, the Porzingis stuff. And this is where the Knicks admittedly look bad. They repositioned the one true winning, desirable chess piece to play Connect 4. That's basically what it equates to. But it really doesn't. It doesn't. Because while the Knicks are getting harpooned for giving up that guy who just got 158, whatever it was, from 158 from Dallas, he hasn't done a damn thing in the NBA. And by the way, like Durant and like Kyrie Irving, he didn't want to be here. He went into the Knicks front office and said, if you don't trade me, I'm not re-signing.
Well, let's back up.
So what are you going to do?
Well,
Say, back up, kiss his Nikes, get lost.
Let's back up. Why don't players want to be in New York? Why don't they want to come play for the Knicks, the storied franchise that is the Knicks?
No, it's not storied. The Knicks are losers. I'll tell you why.
They position themselves as that way, as the brand, the arena,
they're
MSG,
delusional.
Madison Square Garden. Why don't people want to come and play here?
Because the owner's an absolute buffoon. The owner is an absolute clown show.
What makes you think that's going to change?
I don't know.
There is no answer.
No.
That's why guys don't come here.
There is one answer. It reinforces the only way to properly build a team is to draft your own Kevin Durant, draft your own Kyrie Irving, draft your own Paul George, draft the guy who, I don't know, becomes an all-star.
Well, you did.
Can you ever do that?
You did draft Kristaps Porzingis.
I understand. Then his knee exploded. He had 5 injuries before that, and he didn't want to be here.
Let's see what happens with R.J. Barrett as they.
It's going to be a stud.
As they kick this down the road to 2021, when they'll also have the same amount of cap space, 2 max spaces that they do right now. The problem is, if you're a Knicks fan, what are you feeling right now? It's, man, I know it sucks that we traded Kristaps Porzingis to the Dallas Mavericks, but you know what? We're opening up all this space. We're going to go get Kevin Durant. We're going to go get another max contract, and we're going to be relevant right now. Look, sorry. Let's move that 2 years down.
But first of all, Kevin Durant wouldn't have played a second this year, so where's the immediate relevancy? There is none.
It doesn't matter if it was Kevin Durant. It could have been anybody.
But I didn't really want anybody. I didn't want Jimmy Butler. I didn't want Tobias Harris. Who did I want? We've done the show together for all these years. You know what? I wanted a healthy Kevin Durant, and I figured he would bring Kyrie. And a healthy Kevin Durant, I was willing to swallow my distaste for Irving's qualities because Kevin Durant's that good. Kevin Durant's not playing.
Brass tacks. If the New York Knicks had signed Kevin Durant yesterday in free agency, announced it in free agency, would you be happy or would you be upset?
I'm going to give you the most honest answer I can sum it up. I would have enjoyed, for once, being in the news for a positive reason and being the focal point of the NBA news cycle for something favorable, something optimistic. But I would have had my doubts because if you listen to our show, I don't mean you obviously, if you listen to the show and you could go and find it, go scroll my timeline. When he got hurt, I started throwing up some white flags.
Yeah.
Red flags. Red flags.
Red flags.
Red flags.
White flags too, red flags.
Well, I'm not surrendering. Big difference. I'm not surrendering. I'm still fighting here. You know? I don't know. What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. This just keep happening. The same thing happened with LeBron. LeBron probably wasn't really actually thinking about coming here because that was before. Yeah, it was before the whole thing, the free agency thing.
That was the start of it, 2010. Yep.
Goes down to Miami. But
Bosh, Joe Johnson.
As much as he positioned that as I'm going to go anywhere, we knew where he was going.
I didn't know he was going. I didn't think he was coming here. I didn't know he was going to go to Miami, though.
He knew where he was going.
Yeah,
because Dwayne Wade wasn't leaving Miami.
No,
you know what I mean.
No,
he wanted to play with Dwayne Wade and another superstar. We knew. In retrospect, it was inevitably Miami. So while people will reference the Knicks missing out on LeBron James, a huge free agent back in 2010, you really can't blame that on the Knicks.
No, not really.
But you do miss out on Kevin Durant in 2016.
Who's not playing? Oh, in 2016, gotcha.
And you miss out on Durant and Irving again in 2019.
I hear you.
The underlying question
is that they miss out.
And especially as you tease going into the break, if they didn't offer him the max,
I have no problem with that. I really don't. Like, I'm not. This is not even like my defense mechanism.
It's just money, though. If you know what I mean. Think about all the money that's going around. I saw the stat before I left home.
$2 billion, I think it was.
It was like 2.4.
Yeah, it was. You're right. It was two. It was north of two. That's true. That's true.
$2.4 billion in a day.
A lot of money
was given out.
I like Julius Randle for what they paid him. 2 years. Third year's an option. See if he develops. That's fine.
21 or so.
$20 million a year.
Look,
but so what?
But my point is, for the money, it's just money, right? And so if KD feels like the right guy, you give him the max, even if you're redshirt in a year. You just do. It's just money. You're gonna make it up, and probably not with the Knicks because they're already always sold out and everything else. The suites are always sold and everything else. But merchandising and branding, all the other stuff.
And globally, they would even. I mean, think about where they reside globally.
Agreed.
And they've been horrendous. They've been a circus for 20 years, and they're still fourth or fifth on all the Forbes lists here.
The Forbes franchise list.
Yes,
that's what BT's talking about.
Multiple billions. So, again, if Kevin Durant was healthy and Kevin Durant was playing opening night next season in Brooklyn, this would be a radically different open to the show for me. Radically. But you have to use common sense.
All right. Does it make it worse?
I don't know if he'll be great again.
Does it make it worse if in 2 years the Brooklyn Nets are playing in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah. I mean, of course, there's always going to be that parallel. I mean, they're going to be intertwined on some level. But if Kevin Knox and, obviously Barrett and whomever they draft from the Dallas draft equity that they got back with 2 first-round picks and whatever they do next year, because they'll probably be top 10 again, even though they signed a couple of decent veterans. I mean, I can't answer that now. I know that everybody wants an answer today. My only answer today is that Kevin Durant is not playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
So everything else kind of has to be suspended. And when he does eventually play, and I guess I'll just leave this as a question, will he still be Kevin Durant? Nobody can definitively answer that.
Well, who knows? Nobody can tell.
So how can I go crazy over an unknown variable?
Can't.
To me, that's irresponsible. That's stupid. It's a wasted energy.
The only thing you need to be going crazy about if you're a Knicks fan is how come nobody ever chooses the Knicks.
Because the owner is a clown and a dope and a moron. That's why.
How is that ever changing?
That I don't have an answer for.
And
The answer is you have to draft your own All-Stars, like I said before. It's got to happen organically.
And hope that they don't demand a trade after 2 years.
I mean, listen, we could go back and forth on this. I mean,
I wish I had more clarity on that, on Porzingis, what led to the exit.
Well, first of all, his brother became a little bit too ambitious with his...
The Phil Jackson.
Phil set him back.
It was just a bad confluence of events.
Yeah, it really was.
But I'd like to know. I mean, I really would.
We'll get the answer someday. But the one thing they didn't do, which they have always done in my lifetime, is that they tried to recover and they tried to, and not that they tried, but they would spend irresponsibly. I mean, they're finally exercising an element, a modicum of prudence.
Yeah.
And I could appreciate that because that's what the Nets did to get to this position. That's what the Warriors did years ago to get to this position. That's what no, I'm not saying the Nets are great, but that's what the really competitive teams do. Unless you get incredibly lucky and LeBron flies in with his cape and you somehow trade for Anthony Davis and they bail you out because your GM doesn't know the rules. So that's where I stand on the Knicks. Stop tweeting me. I'm not answering anymore. I'm done. I'm done asking. Send this to your friends. Send them the link. I'm not talking about the Knicks anymore.